Why on earth are so many people in the media suddenly beating up on Ivanka Trump? After she drew some boos at that appearance in Germany on a stage with Angela Merkel, it seemed like the floodgates opened, and the criticism, some of it so personal, snarky, even vicious, that it makes me wonder what is really going on. You'd have to think if Ivanka Trump was a White House aide in a liberal administration, she'd be a cover girl star and getting all kinds of praise and plaudits. She did get some positive press during the campaign. Now, part of it, I understand, is it is very unusual for the president's daughter to not only be a top advisor to him, but to actually serve without pay on the White House staff. And of course, there are going to be charges of nepotism. Some people are uncomfortable with it. I understand that. That is fair game. There were even questions about how much she had separated herself from her businesses. Fine. Again, fair game for criticism. But there seems to be an underlying attitude that Ivanka Trump either shouldn't be working for her father at all, shouldn't be defending her father, or should somehow magically be transforming her father into a moderate, into all these policies that a typical left-leaning Manhattan resident might pursue. And none of that is realistic. She is a very influential advisor who can't be fired, but she is still an aide in the White House. And so it seems to me that part of this is a resentment toward the president's daughter and sort of holding her accountable for everything he's ever said about women in a way that strikes me as unfair. I mean, she says, look, he's my dad. He assembles a diverse collection of voices. He's employed thousands of women and promoted them in his business career. And I need to make an analogy here to first ladies, for those who just think like there's no way, no how Ivanka should be allowed into the White House. Because there's sort of some nepotism there too. I mean, every first lady is not elected. She is there because of her husband. She gets a big government staff and an international platform. And just about every first lady that I can rattle off, I mean, going back to Rosalind Carter, Nancy Reagan, Barbara Bush, Laura Bush, Michelle Obama, you know, have been widely admired by the American public. There was some controversy over Hillary Clinton and whether she was taking on too much of a policy role. But she ended up getting elected to the United States Senate and serving as Secretary of State, and then, of course, losing her 2 campaigns for president. Now, Melania Trump, it's no secret, has taken a low-key role, and she remains for now in New York with the couple's son. So in a way, Ivanka is kind of filling in at some first lady type activities, and that's okay. So when you say, well, she's only there because she's part of the family, that would also be true if the president's wife was taking a more active role, which she might in the future. So I just think the fair thing to do for the media, for her detractors, the honest thing to do, and perhaps the more feminist thing to do would be judge Ivanka Trump by what she does in the White House, criticize her where you think it's necessary, but don't just treat her as a proxy for the president. If you don't like the president, you're sniping at her because she's a highly visible target.